lightning and the thunder.
But after all these years, I'm still scared of thunder.
It's time for Middays with Thunder with Mitch Nellis, broadcasting live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
This is Middays with Thunder on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app. Good midday. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. So excited to be with you. I am live at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the screen right over my shoulder. It says Potawatomi Sportsbook on it. I don't know how they get it so that it reads the right way, but because it reads the right way, I'm using like the wrong hand to point at it because it's not a mirror. It's flipped. I'm totally confused about how technology works. Why, when I'm taking a picture in Twitter, it doesn't flip the picture, but when I just take it with the regular camera on my phone, it does flip the picture. Nobody knows these reasons. There's no answer. There's no science. There's just crazy magicians and fairies and dragons, and they decide how this works. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder, like I said. Joining me now is the one, the only, the gentle giant, although he looks a little less gigantic when he's sitting in studio as opposed to running things in the producer's room. He is Charlie Usen. What's up, Charles?
I feel brighter out here. I feel like
it's definitely brighter. You have the natural light.
Dungeon, yeah. It's nice.
It's the natural light. And I heard that, so we have like the dungeon of the producer's room, but then we even have like a side room to that. That is really a dungeon. Like you think you're in a dungeon. That's where we have the snacks and where we keep our prisoners, right?
Yeah,
that's where.
If I was a prisoner,
the room
I'd be kept in the snack room, I guess. Yeah,
that's true. The room of punishment. I think it should be. I think like we don't have an internal fantasy football league, but I feel like if we did, whoever finished last should have to go in that room for 1 hour, no snacks. Just like you have to go in that room, no phone, no snacks for 1 hour. Can you live in that room for an hour?
I don't think
I can do it, Charlie.
I couldn't do it.
Don't finish.
I don't
hey,
think so.
Don't finish last then. Don't finish last.
Out of the penalty box.
Yeah, exactly. This is Middays with Thunder. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. 414-677-1250. Brewers lose a weird one last night. I'm a little nervous. Tommy's going to kill me for this. I'm a little nervous. Bryce Terang is too much of a power hitter now because I feel like line drives to left that used to be base hits are now like line drives at the left fielder. He did get a home run stolen from him last night. What's Hellman's first name? What is it's not Jack, is it? I can't remember what Hellman's first name is. Hellman he needs to be in the penalty box. Like Hellman is the guy because Michael Hellman. This guy might be the greatest player in the history of Major League Baseball. Like if you've never watched the Rangers before this season, and I don't know that I've watched the Rangers this season. I feel like maybe I've turned on a game here and there where I've caught an inning or so. But like the Rangers don't get a lot of national games. They're not very interesting. They're fighting for a wild card slot right now. And so we watched and then Monday night, as we all know, I was at Raw at Pfizer. It was also Monday Night Football. So most of us were watching Vikings and Bears. So last night, I finally had a chance to watch, knowing that this Hellman guy hit a grand slam and had an RBI double Monday night. And last night, he keeps going and keeps ruining our Brewers and steals a 2-run homer. He hits a 2-run homer. He makes a catch to prevent a 2-run homer. And the Rangers beat our Brewers last night 5-4 in Arlington, Texas. Michael Hellman, one L in Hellman. That's kind of weird. So he's not from the mayonnaise family, which I believe is Hellman's with 2 L's. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Hellman's, yeah. But it's like apostrophe S, so it belongs to Hellman.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe he is.
Maybe
JJ doesn't want to. He wants to be famous for baseball, not for Mayo. Mitch.
Man, I hate this guy. This guy's worse than PCA. This guy is worse than who do we not like on the Dodgers who always beats up on the Brewers? I don't know if it's Shohei or Mookie or Freddie or Will
Reynolds
Smith.
of
I
the
feel like
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Brian Reynolds of the Pirates is a good one. Will Smith from the Dodgers, I feel like always gets a big hit against the Brewers. Who did somebody in particular beat us up from the Phillies last week? I don't know if anybody, Marsh or Stott or some of those
Luis
guys.
Matos of the San Francisco Giants for some reason out of nowhere a
Yeah,
couple weekends ago.
Yep. Yeah, out of nowhere. Michael Hellman, 6 foot, 195 from Lincoln, Nebraska. He's 29 years old. His major league stats last year, he played 9 games for the Minnesota Twins as a 28-year-old rookie. He had 10 at-bats. He was 3 for 10 with 2 doubles last year in 9 games, 10 at-bats. This year, he's only played 22 games for the Rangers. He's got 13 hits, 5 of which are home runs. He's got 17 RBI, 7 of which of his 17 RBI are in the last 2 days against the Milwaukee Brewers. Like, who and what in the wild, wild world of sports is going on here? This is absolutely bonkers that this guy is crushing the Brewers. So we'll get more into the Brewers and Rangers during the show today. Also, it is a big practice day for our Milwaukee Brewers. Lots of media availability yesterday evening for Matt LaFleur and for the players. I totally was remiss. And, of course, we want to open the show today with Mike. Hump Day. Today is Wednesday, and so it's Hump Day. We're getting over that hump because the Packers play tomorrow night. And as I mentioned at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, our studios are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Today, I am fully powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook as I look to my left, which on YouTube is to my right, because, again, we're doing that weird mirror thing, or not the mirror thing. But I'm looking, I see Pat McAfee. I see some lady on Good Morning Football. I don't know who that is. I'm watching highlights of Sacramento Kings and LA Clippers up on FanDuel something. There's a big pickleball match going on in Cincinnati at the Cincinnati Showcase. I could take those guys. Charlie, you ever play pickleball?
In a gym class in college, yes. That's it.
Oh, all right. So recently though,
yeah,
like since the
past
pickleball
5 years,
craze, right? Since the pickleball craze kind of exploded, you have played pickleball in a gym class.
Yes, exactly.
These guys are legit. These guys are real. Like
I think
guys,
you got it.
I mean,
you're lanky.
I think
enough,
I got it too. I am. I'm sneakily quick. I'm not fast at all. Like I'm not fast.
Speed,
but I have a sneaky first step. And a sneaky quickness that people underrate. This is Middays with Thunder, 414-677-1250. And I know that, you know what I wanted to start with, and of course I forgot to bring it up on my computer. Let's see if I can get it real quick. The Packers injury report. I did want to get into the Packers injury report. Let's see. I think I got it here. The Packers injury report. Although I don't have, let's see. Starting in week 2, the new additions to the injury report, of course, were Zach Tom, Aaron Banks, Matthew Golden with an ankle, Brenton Cox we knew about, Bo Melton we knew about, Daniel Whelan on the injury report with a right knee. We don't talk a whole lot about special teamers, but I feel like every punt Daniel Whelan makes is a 60-yard punt. Like, am I wrong? Like, he just absolutely is blasting the ball right now. I feel like for a punter, maybe your right knee's. I mean, listen, Charlie, you played ball. Mm-hmm. I don't play ball. I watch ball. I know a lot of ball, but I definitely don't know ball. I feel like your right knee is probably pretty important. It's probably actually not as important as your left knee, your plant knee.
Probably not, but you still need to be able to extend it. And they extend their legs most of the time when they're punting like that. I mean, getting that tight.
You got to be able to blast the ball, right?
Right, exactly. And I don't think you can do that with any kind of knee injury. I don't think any athlete can really do much with that kind of knee injury.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. So let's go through the full injury report. Zane Anderson, limited participation. Aaron Banks did not participate. Brenton Cox did not participate. Matthew Golden was full participation. but he's listed with an ankle. Nate Hobbs, limited participation. Jordan Love listed with a left thumb, but that's, of course, a carried over injury. He was full participation. Bo Melton did not participate. Micah Parsons still with the back, limited participation. Micah Parsons, all right, we'll get into Micah Parsons, but I don't want to get into that right now. Jaden Reed, limited participation. Baron Sorrell, limited participation. Zach Tom did not participate. Quay Walker, limited participation. Daniel Whelan was a full participant. And Dontavian Wicks, a limited participant. The things that jump out to us, of course, the offensive line, Aaron Banks and Zach Tom. And we all know that we've got Kennard and we've got Jordan Morgan who can fill in. And then Anthony Belton in an emergency is another guy who at least can play. So the depth of the offensive line could be tested right away early here, week 2, tomorrow night at Lambeau against the Commanders, and see how that goes. I am hopeful that Nate Hobbs could play, and we'll see what happens with that. Beyond that, nothing really stands out to me. What I was going to say about Micah Parsons, and if you agree, you can agree or disagree. 414-677-1250. I don't know what your opinion is about practice. We all know what Allen Iverson's opinion on practice was. I don't need Micah Parsons to practice all year. I am okay if Micah Parsons does not practice all year. What do you think? Do you think that Micah Parsons, if he's healthy enough, should he be out there? Should he be practicing? Should he be scheming the stunts and the different moves he can create with Edgerrin Cooper or with LVN and with Rashawn Gary? Does he need practice time as it's a brand new team for him? 414-677-1250. Does Micah Parsons need to get on the practice field in terms of being a full participant? I don't think he does. I don't need to wait for an answer. I would love if you have an opinion on this to weigh in. Charlie, do you think Micah Parsons needs to practice at all?
No, I don't. I think that this Packers team, first of all, has other people that they should focus on, making sure that they're practicing. And getting Nate Hobbs back on the field is more important than getting Micah Parsons in a practice uniform at this point in the season. Yep. He played last game, and he played well last game. You saw the impact that he had on that defense. I think what he does and what he brings to the field, you don't really need to practice that. He is just an athletic freak that just knows how to control his body almost better than anybody that I've ever seen play football. So because of that, I think you can rely on him to at least do the studying and figure that stuff out on his own without having to be on the field, because his natural athletic ability will take him there. But making sure that these cornerbacks are ready to go, making sure that the rest of the defensive line is ready to go, making sure that a guy like Baron Sorrell, if he's going to be healthy at some point, or if you want him to practice, make sure he gets on the field so that you have a backup plan for if Micah Parsons goes down, you need a different kind of rotation at that defensive end position. I think there's a lot of other options here that you need to focus on before focusing on Micah Parsons needing to practice.
Absolutely. And I think that's what they're focused on, right? They're focused on what are they going to do with the offensive line? Can they get Nate Hobbs back and healthy enough to play tomorrow night? They absolutely do not need to focus on Micah Parsons and what he can do, because we know what he can do. And that I do think that chemistry and that camaraderie will develop even as he's a limited participant. I don't think he needs to be a full participant. I think he can work on his drills and his strength and his conditioning, and that it will develop in game as well. Like I think it's a little underrated how much coaching and how much teammate talk and camaraderie can be worked on within the game while they're playing. What they see from the offensive line, what they see from the pass protection. And those are all things that Micah Parsons can work on as well. 414-677-1250. Remember, you can find us on YouTube as well at The Fan Milwaukee there on YouTube. Charlie and I are right there on YouTube. Matt LaFleur spoke to the media yesterday evening. Players spoke yesterday as well. We're going to hear some of that sound when we come back. What did Matt LaFleur have to say? We've got Dario Melendez. We rescheduled him from yesterday. He should be joining the show at 11:40. I believe he's on the golf course, so he was just going to put the earbuds in, so we'll see how that goes. Jay Saunders, PR guru here at Potawatomi, is going to join us in the noon hour as well. And then, of course, remember, the Brewers do play at 1:35 today in Texas. They're going to do their best to not get swept by the Texas Rangers. They're going to do their best to escape Texas with a victory. That game's at 1:35. So big man Tommy Wirtz is going to jump on from 12:30 to 1:30, and then I will jump back on at 1:30 and finish out the show as we lead up to Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's right here on The Fan. He'll be on from 2 to 5 today. Charlie Usen in the house, the gentle giant getting things done. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. You're listening to Middays with Thunder on The Fan, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps and free on YouTube. This is Middays with Thunder. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Charlie Usen with you. I am at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, listen, if you haven't been here, I guess I just want to implore upon you to come out here because the amount, the one big screen that goes all the way across the room, but then it's cut up into we've got this screen here, then there's two on top of each other, then there's a big one, then there's two on top of each other, then there's a big one. But they can be cut up into 30 different screens. It is so cool here. Imploring upon you to get out to the sportsbook when you can. 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 is the phone number, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line that you can get out to. A little bit of breaking news from the NBA, nothing major, but it's something that I want to get to in a minute here. The NBA has ruled that shots at the end of quarters and halves are no longer going to count against an individual's field goal percentage. They are just going to count as a team shot. They will affect the team's percentage. I think the NBA was a little frustrated by the fact that numerous players were just dribbling the ball out at the end of halves and at the end of quarters. And that it's more, frankly, I'll be honest, as a fan, it's more fun to see dudes shoot a 70-footer, 60-footer than it is to see them just like hand it to the ref and go into the locker room at halftime. And I think guys were doing that so that it wouldn't affect their shooting percentage, because as we know in contract negotiations, everything is brought up. I mean, different sport, but talk to Corbin Burns, who like an idiot went to his hearing, and that happens in the NBA too. And yeah, I'm sure players come with their agents and they say, well, these 3 shots didn't count because they were 70-footers. And the team's like, yeah, but you took them. They were misses. So I think that's I'm really interested by that. And I just think it's fun. Like, I think it's the right decision. I don't think it hurts anybody. I don't think it's hurting the game. Is it a little bit of a sham? Like, did that person actually miss the shot? Yes, they did. Like, or should we be grown men? Yeah. But I don't think I think it helps the sport. I think it makes it more fan friendly. And at the end of the day, that's what I am. I'm a fan. That's why we're listening to the station. That's why we're all here as part of the Middays with Thunder family, because we're all fans. And so I don't know, Charlie, are you mocking this? Are you fed up with our professional athletes? Do you have a problem here, Charlie?
I mean, I wouldn't say I have a problem, but I just feel like that this change is so inconsequential. Basically, it just doesn't really change anything, in my opinion, about how I view the NBA game. I didn't really think that different of the teams for dribbling the ball out at the end of a half or at the end of a game or in a situation like that. I mean, I guess this just feels like a rule change just so that they get 2 to 3 more highlights per year, which I just don't think is worth it. I also I guess I also don't hate it because it doesn't change that much. So I can't be that mad at it, you know?
No, I think that's fair. And I think for the most part, that's right. Like, it's a who cares rule. Like, who cares that it's changing? But if it does make, like, you know, if once a week we get a 60-footer that we wouldn't have gotten before, that's just fun for the fans.
Which most of these guys can hit those too. Like, a lot of these dudes will just shoot these for funs all the time.
Or they'll back rim it, and the whole crowd will be like, ooh, like, how fun is that when the crowd does that? My buddy Jeff writes into the show, Jeff in Germantown, this should be called the Michael Redd rule. It killed me when he'd be purposefully late on his end of period heaves to protect his field goal percentage. Like, Michael Redd would hold the ball, the buzzer would sound as he's like shooting, and he would let it go on purpose late, so that it wouldn't affect his percentage. Like, that's a thing that used to happen, and so I think that, like, I think that's what, you know, so I'm game for it. I think it's fine. I think it's a good job by the NBA addressing something that wasn't a need. But if it makes the fans experience 2% better over the course of a season, if it means in the $10 games that I go to, I get to hit one, I get to see one full quarter or one half quarter, like, that's just fun. And nobody's hurt by this. Like, it doesn't, I don't think it hurts anybody on this one. Q writes in, and remember, the dugout, you can write in at the Nicolay Lofan talking text line 414-677-1250. You can also write in on YouTube. And Q writes in, what is the Giannis MVP line? Which I think is a great question. Let's see. I click on basketball.
I have it pulled up right here already.
Oh, you have it already?
I do.
You are so good.
So Giannis is
futures. All right, what do you got?
Plus 1,000 right now.
Plus 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Jokic
That's
is
not
at
bad at
plus
all.
200. Shea's at plus 275.
Wait, start over. Say that again.
Jokic is at plus 200. Shea's at plus 275. Luka's at plus 500. And then Giannis is fourth at plus 1,000. Anthony Edwards right behind him at plus 1,400.
Okay. So he's fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fine. I think he's better than that. I think if the Bucks are good this year with a team that people aren't expecting much from, and obviously nationally people love to hate the Bucks. if Giannis has another MVP type season, which he has every year, by the way. Every year Giannis has an MVP season. The question is, like, will they even consider him for it? I have to feel there's some Nikola Jokic fatigue. I think that SGA is, has a real chance there, but it's such a young team. You never know what they're going to do to come back from last year. I think the league wants to get Luka an MVP. I think they wanted to get him an MVP even when he was with Dallas. I think they wanted him to be in that conversation, and he just never quite played well enough to get there. It's kind of like Tatum. I think the league wanted Tatum to get an MVP as well, and he never quite played well enough to get there. Well, Giannis plays well enough to get there every year. And if there's Jokic fatigue, and if the Thunder have kind of a sophomore slump or a slump after winning the championship, if Luka isn't able to quite get out from LeBron's shadow quite yet in LA, I think Giannis has a real shot. I don't think that's a bad wager, Q. I think that's a great question, and I'd be interested to see what he could do there. So we'll monitor that here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook throughout the offseason, and of course when training camp starts for the NBA, what that looks like for Giannis. I don't know if they have. I should probably look at this too. They have division winners, which is such like conference winners matters. Conference winners matters. Division, why are we even looking at division winners? But the Cavs, of course, in the Central. The Pistons are second, and the Bucks are third. Man, people really don't like the Bucks. I don't know. We have the teams to reach the playoffs or not, but I don't see over-unders for victories yet. I don't think we have those numbers out yet here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. This is Middays with Thunder on the Fan, and we're just kind of like, when we're on remote and we're at a place that has all the bells and whistles like the Sportsbook does, we do go a little bit on tangents. And so this show is going to be a little bit tangentially affected. I don't know what the word is, but you should figure that out. I am a journalism major, can't you tell? But I do want to get a little bit into what Matt LaFleur talked about yesterday. Matt LaFleur had a press conference after practice yesterday, after practice yesterday. And so let's start by listening. Matt LaFleur talked about the injury status. And if there's a break here, it's because I'm on remote and Charlie's back. And so we're trying to communicate to each other, what cuts to play. But Matt LaFleur did talk about the injury status of Zach Tom and Aaron Banks. So let's see what he talked about with our offensive linemen who are pretty important to the Packers' success.
We'll give them all the way up to game time to see where they're at. Certainly two guys that have a lot of experience and, so that's not as concerned about them. We're not really, we're walking through, but there's no live reps this week. So, we'll just see where we're at.
Yeah, and it sounds like with both those guys, it's going to be a game time decision. Neither they didn't have practice on Monday, but neither would have practiced if there was practice. Neither practiced yesterday. This is why the Packers made the trade for Kennard. This is why they signed Aaron Banks. They realized after the playoff game in Philly that the starting five were really good, but after that, there was too big of a drop-off. The Packers now, you could argue, roll 8 deep on the offensive line. But it's not the same as having your 5 starters out there. And Charlie, how important it is not just to have your best 5 out there, but just because of the camaraderie and the precision that when they're playing together that they have, that you know where a guy's going to be. And when a backup comes in, even if you've practiced with them all through training camp, even if he played a little bit in week 1, it's not quite the same humming machine that you have when the starting 5 are out there.
It definitely changes expectations for that offense almost immediately. That player has to get used to the defensive lineman that's in front of him, get up to the intensity of the other offensive linemen that have been in the game for a while now. I think when you are a backup, yes, you're paying attention to what the defensive game plan is of the other team and what your coaches are preparing you for, but you're really honestly watching the guy that's in front of you more often, making sure that you understand your side of the playbook first. So getting into that game, that's when you kind of learn about that player. I think for the starter, for the most part, they have the playbook down at that point. They're already in that position. They're thinking about that scouting report that's on the other side and can kind of prepare themselves for what they're going to see. I think that backup isn't doing that as much. So it kind of throws everybody off of rhythm there when other guys have to try to pick that guy up and get him to that point in that situation. What helps is that Kennard played last week a little bit. What helps is that Jordan Morgan played last week a little bit. So they're already kind of into that game mode, that mindset. And hopefully that just transitions over to this week and that they can just focus on getting the playbook down 100%.
I agree with everything you just said, Charlie. You said, and one of the additions to that conversation that I will make is it is September 10th today. The Packers play tomorrow on September 11th against the Redskins. And actually saw a good tweet by our friend Peter Bukowski, who after September 11th, 2001, of course, the Packers played the Monday night game against the Washington Redskins. And so I feel like there's some extra remembrance or whatever it is tomorrow night. Like I could say this for tomorrow, but I've always thought that September 11th should be a bigger day in our collective community and in our collective, mourning those who perished that day, and honoring the heroes of Flight 93 and all that sort of thing. I'm not really sure why we just go on our day with a regular day on September 11th. But I think it's kind of cool that the Packers and Commanders are playing tomorrow night. And to that point about the offensive line, because it's so early in the season, I make the point of it being September 10th, is that to me, this could almost work out for the Green Bay Packers. Yes, you want your 5 guys there, day in and day out, all 17 games. You want your starting 5 on the offensive line. But we'll see it more often than not. If you have 32 teams, at least 30 of them are going to have replacement offensive linemen at some point during the season. There are injuries, there are issues. We don't wish season-ending injuries on anybody, but guys get banged up. Guys have to leave for a play or a series or whatever it might be. And getting Jordan Morgan, getting Kennard, even getting Belton some playing time this early in the season, I think can positively affect what we see later in the season, whether a guy needs a blow or whether there is an injury where a guy misses a week or two, that these guys not only are talented enough to start, but are ready to, they've had the experience of playing in actual games that they are able to play and be ready just November 17th, December 5th, January 5th, whatever those dates might be, that this could end up helping, acknowledging you want Tom and Banks on that field. Like, you want your best guys on the field, for sure. No doubt about it. But I think it could help this team by getting that type of experience, Charlie.
Definitely. And I think that last season we got a little spoiled because there was only one game where you didn't have the same starting 5 offensive linemen to start that game throughout the entirety of that season. That's pretty lucky. And you are one of those 2 teams out of the 32 teams that got lucky and didn't have a replacement offensive lineman in that offensive line group. And you were also lucky that the replacement offensive lineman was Elkton Jenkins, who just moved over to center. And yeah, he didn't have a great game that one game last year, but it was nice to be able to have somebody that was already a part of that starting group to kind of step into the tougher position. I think this game, like you said, there's value to getting these guys these reps, especially this early in the season, on the short week, on the short notice, that it should benefit this Packers team moving forward. At the same time, you don't want to see these guys on the field as often as I think we're already seeing them. I think it would be nice to have your starting offensive line out there and be healthy and be able to gel a little bit. And I think this is a little bit worrying, I guess, not to the same degree that if it were to be guys getting injured in week 16 right before the playoffs, but it's still a little worrying that this could be a sign of something to come moving forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely, I mean, yes, again, we want Tom and Banks on that field. We want the starting 5 on the field. But if this can help the team's depth, the team's camaraderie, the confidence of those backups, however that can The other clip I wanted to play, Charlie, was the challenges of playing a Thursday night game so early in the season. You talked about it just now about that short week turnaround. It's I think as fans, we are super excited that we saw how good the Packers played on Sunday, and they get to play again tomorrow night against a really good team, Washington. It's another measuring stick. I'm guessing the coaches and especially the players may not necessarily agree with that. Let's hear what the coach had to say about those challenges.
I think they all have their challenges. I think a lot of it is just, are you hurt by injuries? That's a big deal on these Thursday night games. How many guys do you have out? But, we had a plan for just our preparation and our process in regards to how we were going to game plan. And we were able to jump ahead a little bit throughout training camp. And then, obviously you take into account week one, but it's still limited film, and just make some adjustments from there.
So there's Matt LaFleur with probably like the most boring answer I've ever heard to some of the challenges of playing on a short week. Listen, that was total coach speak, right? Like, there's challenges for every game. There's, everybody, both teams have the same challenges. Like any week two, we only have the film of this team from week one, and it's a shorter week as well. Oh, that's fine. I think the players actually might have a different answer to that question, right? If the players, I don't think any player, as Mason has told us many times, no player likes Thursday night's the worst game to play. It is kind of nice that they're getting it out of the way, and that it's a little frustrating that they're as banged up as they are, because you would think at week two you'd be pretty healthy, and that the offensive line is 40% banged up doesn't feel great. But I do think there's something positive about playing in the season, getting that Thursday night game out of the way. Although they do have Thanksgiving, so that kind of they have that. They have two the Packer. We'll as Matt LaFleur said, you play the games on your schedule. Everybody's got their challenges. Everybody has to go. They're going to have to go through. That's what Washington has to go through. That's what the teams that play on Thanksgiving have to go through. They'll have to go through it. Dario Melendez, sports director 12 here in Milwaukee, will join us, talk some Packers, talk some Brewers, and more. I think he told me he was going to be out on the golf course, so we'll confirm with him that he's hitting them straight, because if he's not, we'll just cut him loose. Like we got no patience for that. We almost fired Mason Crosby from the Mason Crosby show because of how poorly he played golf in that Dallas tournament. He redeemed himself yesterday, and he won. But Tommy and I were ready to be like, so Mason, you can't even be on your, like, it's kind of like in Mean Girls when she's wearing sweatpants on a day that's not Wednesday. Like, Wednesdays they wear pink, but whatever day, they can only wear sweatpants one day a week. And for the third day, they're like, you can't sit with us. And she's like, that's all that fits me. They're like, you can't sit with us. We almost pulled that on Mason Crosby, but thankfully he redeemed himself yesterday. We'll see how Dario Melendez is doing on the golf course next on Middays with Thunder here on 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan. We're at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, where again all the big, like, I think Pat McAfee on the screen is bigger than I am, and I'm a full-sized human being. Like when I watch somebody on my TV at home, I'm bigger than they are if I stood next to the TV. I think if I stood next to the screen, Pat McAfee, and not just his head, but his whole body, is bigger than me as well. He's Charlie Usen. I'm Mitch Nellis. This is Middays with Thunder on The Fan. This is Middays with Thunder, 1250 AM, 1057 FM, The Fan. We are the home of The Fan, of family. If you want to be part of the family, just email in, just text in. Q's a member of the family. Q's excited that we talked about the NBA for like 1 second. And I told Q, come on, Q, I'm an NBA knucklehead. Like, you bring up an NBA story to me, I'm going NBA for sure. This is The Fan, Middays with Thunder. Want to let everybody know the Brewers starting lineup is out. And so got to share that. I know that is Tommy's job on the leadoff show coming up here at 12:35, but it's out. So I figured I should share that news with you. Leading off, Bryce Terang, batting second, Jackson Chourio, batting third, Christian Yelich. Fourth at first base is Jake Bauers. Jake Bauers hit another home run last night after an amazing weekend in Pittsburgh. He pinch hits last night in the ninth, hits a home run to cut the score to 5-4. But the Brewers weren't able to score after that, weren't able to tie the game. Sal Frelick batting fifth, Caleb Durbin sixth, Blake Perkins in center. He is batting seventh. Chourio, by the way, playing left. Danny Jansen is catching, batting eighth, and Mr. Ortiz, Joey, is batting ninth. Freddie Peralta on the mound, and Freddie Peralta 29 scoreless innings, I believe it is. The team record is 32, set by one of the greatest left-handers in the history of baseball, Teddy Higuera. Amazingly underrated nationally. He was a phenomenal pitcher for the Brewers in the late 80s. Teddy Higuera pitched 32 scoreless innings, I believe it was, for the Brewers. And so we'll see what Freddie Peralta can do with that 29 and a third score. But and frankly, like, they could use it from him today. They could use 6 today. I know I was at the game last Thursday. Brewers, Phillies won that game. Was that the 2-0 game? That was the weird game where the Brewers had men on second and third and couldn't get runs in. And you're not going to win a game if you score 0 runs. But you're also not going to win a game by pitching 5 scoreless innings. You're going to give your team a chance to win a game, but you're not going to win the game. And while we love that Freddie's our guy and he's pitching 5 scoreless innings, that again, 5 scoreless innings puts your team in a position to win a game. 5 scoreless innings does not win the game. There's still a lot of work left to be done if your starting pitcher is pitching 5 scoreless innings. So we'll see what Freddie Peralta can do today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Looking at up the matchup between the Texas Rangers and the Milwaukee Brewers. Now what just happened to my computer? It's like, oh, there we go. Freddie Peralta is 16-5 with a 2.50 ERA, which is absolutely fantastic. For the Texas Rangers, again, loading. Charlie, you ever have issues loading, your computer loading? Is your computer?
Yes. Sometimes I have those issues with the computer loading. I think in some enclosed environments, it makes it a little harder for the connection to get out there.
Like I'm in a big building when there's a lot of concrete. Is that what you're saying, Charlie?
Yeah, that might do it.
You know what I love though? I love being in this building.
It's beautiful.
Potawatomi Sportsbook. Uncle Dick, the official beer vendor of Middays with Thunder and of the Mason Crosby Show. You can see him at Brewers game room right now. So I hope he's playing. I hope he's playing his pocket jacks correctly, because pocket jacks are the worst. Pocket jack, because you get 2 face cards, you think you should win, and pocket jacks got to win what? There's got to be a number. I could probably Google this. A third of the time. Like, you got to know how to bet them. You got to know how to represent them. And you got to know how to get out of the way when the flop comes ace, king, 7. Not get married to your cards in front of you, but you got to see the whole picture. That if you can bet a bunch of, you can overbet and you can get a bunch of people out of the hand. But if you've got pocket jacks and the flop comes ace, king, 7, I don't care if you think somebody's bluffing. I don't then you got to get out of the way. Winning that hand, bro. Sis, whoever it might be. We should bring sis into the lexicon.
I think so.
We don't say sis enough.
Well,
yeah, right?
A little more often. I got 3 sisters, so you know what? Yeah. It's more fun to say it that way.
Do you call them bro, or do you call them sis,
them
or do you call them by their names?
I say dude a lot.
Bro,
so
you call them
a lot of dude. Yeah.
Dude, a lot of dude. Do they call you bro?
Yeah. I'm little bro and big bro, both.
All right. Were they calling you bro before bro came back and became cool again ish? Not really.
Not really. I don't know. I didn't think it was ever like out of style, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Is on the mound for Texas tonight. Long time coming back. He is 11-7 with a 3.16 ERA. So it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier for the Brewers with Freddie Peralta facing Merrill Kelly for the Rangers. The Rangers have given up, I believe, the least runs in Major League Baseball this year, and this is going to be a rough one. This is going to be tough. I just got a text from Dario, by the way, Charlie. Crap had an emergency conference call. You got that? I don't know if he's calling you there because I just saw. Oh, we got him now. So we'll Dario for the next 10 minutes or so. That works. Dario Melendez, sports director, Channel 12, WISN, the ABC affiliate here in Milwaukee. Q writes in the dugout on YouTube. Sounds like someone has pocket jack trauma. Doesn't everyone have pocket jack trauma? Like if you play poker, you've got a pocket jack story. Everyone with pocket jacks thinks they've got a winner, and you win it. Here, let's see if I can. How often does pocket jacks win in Texas Hold'em poker? Let's see what it says. They do win approximately 56% of the time, according to AI. But you definitely lose, obviously, to ace king or a higher pocket player. The common problem is that jacks lose to an overcard on the flop approximately 57% of the time. So it's crucial to be cautious with your play. Thank you, AI. See, AI gets it. They understand pocket jacks. Another man who understands pocket jacks because they've played poker with him. He is a sports director from Channel 12, Dario Melendez. Dario, thanks so much for jumping on the show today.
I feel like the last time we played poker, you had pocket jacks and you caught one. I feel like you had a full house, but I had a higher full house, and I took all your money.
I think that sounds accurate. That sounds right. Because if you get pocket jacks,
you were very aggressive betting. I'm like, oh man, he's got something that he thinks is really good, and I'm going to take everything.
Right. Which like if you get pocket jacks and you end up hitting a jack, I gotta assume you win that 90% of the time. Like
100%.
I don't think I'm right. I don't think I made a mistake there. I just got caught. Like you caught me. You got me.
I might have had like ace queen and like a jack came out, a queen came out, or like two aces. Something I just had a higher
something crazy
than you, or
a higher full house.
Full house. Sorry, thank you.
No problem. So how are you, Mr. Dario? And I'll kick it off with the Packers played on Sunday. How exciting is it that they play again tomorrow night? Let's go.
This is always like the funny part in the year for me because we always preach player safety, and then 3 days rest, get back out there, guys. But the one thing I kind of took away from being in the locker room Sunday night was that the guys feel pretty fresh. Josh Jacobs said he barely felt like he played, which I think was kind of the Lions' game plan. We're going to stack the box, force you to throw, because the saying around Detroit all week was, we stop 8, we're going to win. Well, Josh Jacobs challenged the receivers. He's like, that's disrespectful. You should be upset they're even saying that. They were. 10 different guys caught passes. Jordan Love, a healthy Jordan Love, looked awesome. And then defensively, bro, Micah Parsons didn't have a sack till the third quarter. I get it. And he only had he had 3 pressures. He didn't have any statistical anomalies on his stat chart, but he was by far the most impactful player on the field. The difference, even talking to
Dario, I mean,
it was nuts.
You watch the game. Like his impact was absolutely unbelievable.
I talked to Gary afterwards. I talked to X afterwards. I talked to Evan Williams afterwards. And every time I'm like, look, He only played 29 snaps. He had 1 sack, 1 tackle. But could you feel a difference out there? And they all like had this huge smile on their face. Like, absolutely. It made our job so much easier. Like, safeties and DBs can sit on routes because the ball's coming out fast, which is why Evan Williams got an interception. Rashawn Gary had quarterbacks just walking in their lap because they wanted to stay away from Parsons. It was unbelievable. I was in the elevator with Goody. Everybody's congratulating him on the trade. I was like, hey, what trade you talking about over there? So he's happy. Everybody in the Packers locker room was happy. It was just a really fun game. And now you have a Commanders team that, look, year 2 for quarterbacks isn't always the best year. We saw that last year down in Houston. We saw that last year with Jordan Love. There's definitely a sophomore slump for a reason.
So before we get to that, I do want to talk about just like not just the impact on the field, which we all saw on defense, but Micah Parsons, but it's almost like a different vibe with the team, with the fans. And I know people, Matt LaFleur had to say his comment about Hawaiian blue and the fan, and I know there was a bunch of Hawaiian blue there, but the noise level, the energy level in the stands and on the field, it all felt new and different with Micah Parsons out there.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I know you're not supposed to tell people how to like spend their money, but I don't really have a problem with Matt LaFleur said. Like, if you're going to be a season ticket holder and you're going to wait 40 years to get tickets, go to the game. And if you're not going to go to the game, don't like sell your tickets to like Lions and Vikings, the Bears fans. That's my prerogative. Like, it's not my money, so it's easy for me to tell people what to do. But there's definitely a different vibe.
Go ahead.
No. You're always hearing Goody's in on a conversation, right? Like, you're in conversations with this trade. You're in conversations with that team. You're in conversations. Well, finally, the conversation came to fruition, and you get one of the best, if not the best, pass rusher in all of football. So I think people are just excited about that. And it says to the team, like, hey, we know we had some pass rush issues last year, which forced us not to be able to blitz, which forced us to only play zone because we couldn't really play man coverage. And now we're telling you, Packer players, that we went out, invested into a deficiency we had from last year. We're now going to be able to play man coverage. We're going to be able to play zone without having to worry about getting pressure with 5 or 6. And because we're investing in you, we think you guys could be a Super Bowl contender. And when you have a GM, an organization that has faith in you guys and invests in you, kind of like what the Brewers do regularly, I think it kind of lights the spark on your butt.
So what are you looking forward to tomorrow night? What matchups are you watching if Tom and Banks can play? We know we're waiting to see about Hobbs and some of those injury issues. But what are you excited about this matchup with the Commanders?
2 things. I want to see if Love can do what he did last game. He looked really healthy. He looked in command of the offense. Didn't look rattled. The one interception he threw that came back was a dude that was all over his receiver. So I'm going to keep an eye on Love because I want to see if last year was just a fluke because of injuries and if he's more of what we saw at the end of year 1 as a starting quarterback. And then, of course, we want to watch Parsons. Like, he's so much fun to watch because you just see, like, entire offenses gravitate toward him. And then when they gravitate toward him, someone else is going to get the rock. Like that cheetah package that they have when Lucas Van Ness plays tackle. And then you have Gary on the outside and Parsons on the outside. Oh, my God, it's so fast. And then when I'm up in the press box and a couple times they left him on an island with someone, I was like, oh, this is going to end up poorly. It's just so much fun to watch him play. And I'm guessing, look, I never got to watch Reggie White. I grew up in South Florida, so Jason Taylor was my guy. Cam Wake was my guy. And those 2 DNs were as good as it gets. So it was kind of like watching that, but to the nth degree. So I'm going to keep my eye on Parsons.
Obviously, it's all Packers all the time when the Packers handle the Lions the way they did. Dario Melendez joining us here on Middays with Thunder. But we got to talk to Milwaukee Brewers. Still with the 6.5 game lead over the Cubs. I have no fear or thoughts about the Central. But Philly's creeping up. Philly's only 3.5 back now, 3 in the loss column. A couple tough losses to the Texas Rangers, who are actually a pretty decent baseball club. What do the Brewers need to do to really close things out here the last 3 weeks of the season?
Not panic. I mean, look, if you don't get the top seed, great. Who cares? I mean, the top seed would be nice for home field during the NLCS. First, you got to get to the NLCS. The biggest thing you want is a bye. And right now, it looks like the Brewers are going to get a first-round bye. You just don't panic. Like, I don't think the Cubs are going to be able to – erasing 5.5, 6.5 games in 2 weeks is going to be nearly impossible. Like, it would take the Brewers losing pretty much every game and the Cubs winning pretty much every game. Now, the Phillies could overtake
Dario,
the top spot, but –
right. If the Brewers go 8-8 the rest of the way, the Cubs have to go 15-2.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I mean, I'm not worried about the division. Yeah. I think they have that locked up. And I mean, to be honest, well, I guess if they lock up the division, they get a bye because if the Cubs are in third in the NL.
Yes.
So,
well, the Brewers are, let's see, 7.5 games ahead of the Dodgers. So the Dodgers and the Phillies would both have to catch them. Very unlikely the Dodgers can catch them at this point. Oh, Dario, you still there?
You got me?
Oh, I got you.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Go.
No problem. So again, so looking at the last 16 games for the Brewers, what do they need? Knowing that they should be getting the bye, what worries you, or what do they need to do? And who are you? Are you looking at the starting rotation? Is it McGill when he comes back? Is it Yelich's health? What is the focus of this team right now?
I think just don't panic. Like, I'm looking at the Phillies schedule right now. You need the Mets to be competitive. The Mets should take at least one of these games, right? You have the Royals after that. That's tough. But then you go on the road if you're the Phillies, and you have the Dodgers and you have the Diamondbacks. Then you finish up with the Marlins and Twins at home. So it's not like the Phillies have a cakewalk, where the Brewers' schedule I don't think is that tough down the road if I look at it. The biggest thing is they just can't panic. Like, you're going to lose baseball games. Not every month is going to be like July and August. Like, those were crazy. But you're not going to get that. Like, after this series, you go to the Cardinals. You host the Cardinals, which aren't a very good team. Then you host the Angels, who aren't a very good team. Then you have the Cardinals again, who stink. But then you finish up with the Padres and Reds. Reds might be out of it by then. Padres definitely aren't. They're going to be wanting to jockey back and forth. So everything is right in front of you. Just don't panic. Pat Murphy talks about it all the time. Like, you're getting a punch in the mouth, just respond. You don't have to do more than you're capable of. I think we saw that a lot last year. I mean, there's always a game that I think it was Blake Perkins. He just wanted to bunt a guy in or something like that when the Brewers could have won, and he popped it up, and he was just trying to do too much. Like, just do what you do. You work the count. You try to get on base. If it doesn't work, great. Don't try to carry a team. The thing that has made this Brewers team so successful is that everybody contributes. If one person's not contributing, somebody else will step up. Not everybody needs to be the guy to be the hero, because that's where you get in trouble, right, Mitch? Like, if everybody's trying to be a hero, you tend to get in trouble. Just do your job. Do what's been getting you to this point.
Your job.
They'll be fine.
Absolutely. Dario Melendez, WISN Channel 12 Sports Director. Before we let you go, you have on your air Saturday morning, you got a little football game on your air, right?
Yeah, Badgers, Alabama, 11 a.m. on WISN.com. We are heading down there Friday. We're going to go to the team hotel in Birmingham, try to talk to the players, not talk to them, watch them come in, because that's always fun. And then we'll be covering the game. We'll do a post-game show on 12 News at 6 and 6:30. But I've never been to Alabama. I've definitely never been to Tuscaloosa. I'm excited to check it out. I just hope this, 20 half-point spread isn't going to come true.
No, it would. I think we'll learn a lot about if this team is a competitive team this year, or if it's like many of us think they are, that they're still a year away or whatever that might be. I have cousins in Birmingham, and they you could have stayed with them. They offered me to come down. They are huge Alabama fans, and they texted me last week. They're like, you just so you know, you guys are going to win. Like, they are so down on the Crimson Tide right now. They hate the coach. They don't like the team. And I think that's it's a weird time for Alabama football right now.
I mean, that's what Barry Alvarez said, right? Like, Alabama's going to be an underdog at home. I'm like, okay, Barry, whatever you got to tell yourself.
Nice. I love that. But no, that should be a blast. Have a great trip. And we will catch up with you down the road. We'll hear all about the trip. And obviously, we'll keep our eye on the Packers and the Brewers. And thanks so much for jumping on today, Dario.
Awesome. Talk to you, man.
You bet. That's Dario Melendez, Sports Director, WISN Channel 12 here in Milwaukee. You're listening to Middays with Thunder. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Wirtz is taking over with the leadoff show at 12:30. Before that, Saunders, PR guru from the Potawatomi Sportsbook and the Potawatomi Hotel Casino. He's going to jump on and tell us all the cool things that are going on here, like the bus to Brewers games, like all the great food, like all the great action on the 7,000 feet screens, 70,000 feet screens, 700,000 feet screens that they have here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is absolutely amazing. Jay Saunders is next here. Middays with Thunder on the Fan.
lightning and the thunder.
But after all these years, I'm still scared of thunder.
It's time for Middays with Thunder with Mitch Nellis, broadcasting live from the 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
This is Middays with Thunder. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Thanks again to Dario Melendez for jumping on the fan guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Everybody, I assume when I say that, like everybody in their cars, everybody watching on YouTube says it along with me, right? Charlie, that's how it works.
I think
you just
so.
say it along with
I say it along with you every time, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. We are at the Potawatomi Sportsbook today. We are so excited. Brewers, of course, a 1:35 first pitch against the Texas Rangers. Merrill Kelly taking on Freddie Peralta. Brewers, it'd be nice to get a win. I can't remember the last time the Brewers were swept. Probably, well, we know they were swept in their opening series against the Yankees. There was probably another time in April or May when they were struggling. They got swept, but certainly not since then. So it'd be to get that win, and we can watch that game right here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Drinks are flowing. Food starts at 4, and let's get going with the PR guru of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Hotel, Casino, and Bingo.
Casino Hotel, please.
Casino. I remember when it was Potawatomi Bingo and Casino. That's what I am. Charlie, you have no idea that when I was 18 years old, which was 1,000 years before you were born, we used to come, like whenever we turned 18, we'd come to Potawatomi, and it was like in a tent, and they played bingo, and that was it. There was nothing else here. It was like a big bingo hall, and it was so like, and we would like as 18 walk through, you couldn't breathe. There was so much smoke in the air. It was like, this is America. Let's go. And now we have this unbelievable building, buildings connected to buildings, and pathways and card games and the machines that go ding, 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 and the TV screens, and the restaurants and the theater and all the cool things. Jay, like, this place is awesome.
We've changed since this was Potawatomi Bingo Hall. In fact, next year we celebrate our 35th anniversary, our 35th birthday. So a lot of changes in those 35 years. As you mentioned here at the Sportsbook, 2,100 square foot screen.
700,000 feet of screens at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And you heard it here first.
And I love it. Right now I see I see Pat McAfee, I see pickleball, I see cricket. I mean,
you see Micah Parsons.
There is nothing.
AJ Hawk should not have that big of a head.
Nothing or forehead.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with or 12-13 on a Wednesday, turning around and seeing pickleball and cricket. I mean, it's what we do here. And
I feel like I could play cricket. I've never played cricket, but I feel like
that would be a terrible idea for you.
Why? Well, what could go wrong?
Well, they have pickup cricket games over at off of Hampton and Green Bay. That park there.
There's a throw coming in. This fielder's trying to get it. This guy's got his cricket wicket. And it hits a board that lights up like in the middle of a play. I don't understand this. I don't understand cricket at all. If anybody wants to explain cricket to me, feel free. Find me on Facebook at Mitch Nellis or at Thunder MKE, and you can explain to me how cricket works. So we're here in the Sportsbook.
Yes,
all the great things going on. Tell us about some of the cool things that you've got going on this weekend here at and not just the Sportsbook, but the entire casino hotel.
Well,
casino
hotel,
Potawatomi
Casino Hotel,
PCH,
like the Pacific Coast Highway. Yes, that's exactly right.
Pacific Coast Highway, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Some of the cool things you got going on right now.
Let's start with the Sportsbook because it is that time of year. Again, the Brewers Day. I mean, you've been talking about it, the Brewers Day game today, the Packers game tomorrow. This place was jumping for Monday Night Football. Yes, it was full of Bears fans, but this is the time of year. I mean, this is almost sports nirvana with the baseball season.
It's true,
starting to wrap up.
Great time
football season ramping up,
pro and college,
and it's just fantastic. And we've got, as Thunder mentioned here, the 70,000 square foot screen. It's actually 2,100 square feet.
2,100.
But
for legal purposes,
2,100.
Only. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm using air quotes.
And I'm so sorry for the people on YouTube right now, having to see the two of us. And we can, as you mentioned, we can split this thing into 20, 30, however you want games. So we've got
so like Sunday at noon. Sunday at noon, what does it look like? And then because you've also got, the Brewers usually play a day game on Sunday. Like, how do you split it up between the NFL games and then some, Brewers or Cubs or whoever is playing baseball? And
it depends a lot on, since the Brewers, are playing on Sunday, we'll give because they're our hometown team.
Yeah.
But we also know that Sundays are for football right now, and
it's true.
So you'll see.
I've heard that.
Yes, you'll just see a lot of games. But yes, the Brewers will have a big chunk because there are Brewers, and
and it helps when the Packers
playoff time,
and it helps when the Packers and Brewers don't conflict.
Correct.
Right? Like, I'm sure you love when they do conflict and they're both on and take up huge parts of the screen. But it's probably better when they don't, because then they both get their own audience. Yes. and that energy in the sports book is just off the charts.
It is fun when they're playing at the same time, because you got the people with the Packers jerseys and the Brewers hats on.
Oh yeah.
And so you've got nonstop action, every pitch, every play, everyone's cheering. They're also cheering for their bets. They're cheering for their teams. Yep. So it's the energy in here is nonstop, and we have a great food and beverage right here in the sports book. Yep. You never have to leave your seat.
What's your favorite thing?
Oh,
do you have a current favorite? Not like what, like right now, if you were ordering from the menu at the sportsbook, what would it be?
So we have this burger that has barbecue brisket on top of it.
Oh, say less. Done.
So
done.
That is my favorite.
Yeah.
Although
I love that.
I will say we have this new thing. I've gotten to try most of the things on it, but it's the John Kuhn fullback platter.
Yes.
John Kuhn, a friend of the sports book. It has 5 different appetizers on it that John himself, number 30, picked.
I love that.
Including Philadelphia cheesesteak sliders.
Done.
Chicken tenders.
Done.
Cheese curds.
Done.
I believe breaded mushrooms and jalapeno poppers.
I love the breaded mushrooms. You can have my jalapeno poppers.
Only if I can have your Philly cheesesteak slider.
Hell no.
That's just gonna.
All right. So we got the John Kuhn platter. How do we get the Mason Crosby, whatever it might be? Can we work on that? I mean, obviously I want the Thunder something, but I know where I am in the pecking order. I'm looking up for my buddy Mason
right now. Right. It's we'd have to look into that.
All right. So I thought, and we all love Kuhn. Kuhn's awesome, and he's like the official something of the sports book these days.
He is our sports book spokesperson.
Yes. But I want Mason on that list too. I want because whenever Mason's in town, this is where he comes first. He literally comes to the PCH first before anything else.
And we love to have number 2 in the house.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what else besides the sports book? What else do you have going on? Whether it's promotions or appearances or what else is going on? Here
one of the big promotions we have going on right now. It will be of particular interest to your Bucks fans here on 105.7 FM. The Fan.
Nice
it is. Thank you. I do what I can.
Mm-hmm.
We have what's called Wish Fest, and as part of that is Sweet Ticket September.
Oh,
and so come on in. You can play your favorite slot machines with your Potawatomi rewards card.
Sure. And
you earn entries. And on Thursday nights, we have drawings for cash and prizes, including tickets for Bucks games. Do you
have to be present to win?
Yes.
It's a good question.
Let's
say yes.
We'd love for you to come in on Thursday to claim your prize. Yes.
Yeah, let's say
yes. Must be present to win. But like I said, we've talked a lot about the Brewers and the Packers, as we should, but we got to get geared up for Bucs season.
Yeah, it's going to be here before we know it.
I don't care what the experts say. It's going to be a good season.
I think it
at
is.
Fiserv Forum.
I kind of like that they're under the radar, that people think they're going to be worse than they've been in the past few years. I don't know if they forgot that they still have Giannis on the team.
Who's that?
Giannis.
Okay, yes, I've heard of him.
And Teta Campampi.
Yes,
I think
and
it is.
let's not forget the secret sauce. The Nasus is back.
The
so
Nasus is back.
let's let's another friend of the sports book.
Nice. So Sweet Ticket September, is it slots only where you get entries, or is it anytime you use your card?
That's right now. It's play your slot machine, play your favorite slots to earn entries into
Got it.
into Sweet Ticket September, cash and prizes as far as the eye can see, because that's what we do.
I want
here.
some sweet tickets.
We do it big.
Yeah,
we do it big here.
Why wouldn't you?
It's the only thing we know what to do.
Exactly. I love that. Jay Saunders, PR guru here at the PCH Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and Sportsbook, is with us on Middays with Thunder. And we've had Jay on before, so we know that while he does cheer for our local teams, he was born into some other fandoms. Let's start with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I don't even know how Nebraska's doing this year, and frankly, I don't care, because I'm so down on the Badgers that I don't care about college football at all. Am I wrong?
See, I can't not care about college football. Growing up in Nebraska,
right? There were no pro sports,
and
it's not
going
your fault.
to the University of Nebraska.
I went to Wisconsin. I get it.
Huskers are 2-0.
Let's go.
Your friend that thinks Wisconsin's going to beat Alabama is nuts.
No, my cousin.
Oh, it's your cousin?
Yeah, and he's
nuts.
Well, but he's lived in Birmingham for 40 years. He doesn't really think the Badgers are going to win. He's just mad at Alabama. He's mad at DeBoer. He's mad at Saban. He's mad at everybody, because to them, Alabama should they should get to go 12-0 and get into the playoff, and then the season should start. They don't understand any of this losing stuff.
As someone who remembers what that was like, going undefeated, going to your conference championship, and assuming that it's going to be a win season, and then having the bottom fall out, have your cousin call me, because I've suffered through 20 plus years of Nebraska nonsense.
Yeah.
So,
and how are your Cubs doing?
Not good, Jim.
At this point, do you just want them to make the playoffs? Just get to the playoffs and see what happens from there.
They're going to be there. I'm not concerned about the Cubs not making the playoffs.
No, they're in. They're going to make the playoffs for sure.
But
the only question right now is Mets and Giants.
It's all the injuries. Kyle Tucker goes on the shelf.
Yeah.
Danny Palencia is already on the shelf.
And stinks.
He doesn't stink.
All right.
But
you could take advantage of that, though.
But I think that I'm not worried about the Cubs. I'm not worried about the Brewers. I think that even in your last segment with Dario, and you were talking about getting some wins, getting Freddie to get a quality start today.
That'd be nice.
I'm fine if Freddie pitches 5 today. Fine. You're gonna.
I just want to win today. I just want to win the game.
We're going to need him in October. He's thrown 176 pitches already this year. See, I can do research too.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. 176 innings this year.
Okay. It's a lot.
So
you're right.
So if Freddie gets 5 today and the bullpen's got a handle 4, you get that win, fine. I think.
Well, I think what helps them is that they do have a day off tomorrow. So having the day off tomorrow is a big deal. Being able to use your top bullpen arms.
And it's the Angels are coming into town, so it's not like
you should be okay.
Let's not
Cardinals and Angels, coming up next.
Let's not.
Cardinals don't scare anybody this year.
No, and that's the greatest thing for me.
Yeah.
So many people in Milwaukee ask me how I can be a Cubs fan and why I don't hate the Brewers. I love the Brewers. I hate the Cardinals.
Right. It's the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's like this morning I was at a breakfast and there was a Mets fan there, and he and I were talking to a Yankees fan. And we were agreeing that, while we might not be best friends as Red Sox and Mets fans, we can both agree that we both hate the Yankees.
Yes.
I think Cubs and Brewers, and Cubs and Brewers fans have that for the Cardinals. There are some Brewers and Cardinals fans who have that for the Cubs. That rivalry can work all the different ways. But as a Milwaukeean, I like that you have a secondary team to the Cubs, and we can all hate the Cardinals together.
I get it. I get that Milwaukee hates Chicago. I'm not from Chicago. I'm just old enough to have the Cubs be the only game on TV when I was, growing up watching baseball. So that's how that happened. But all for the Brewers, all for what it would mean for Milwaukee to have the Brewers succeed. Watching the Bucks parade in 21 was amazing. Let's
get another parade.
Let's do Wallbangers 2.0.
I like
Let's do this.
Jay, thank you so much for jumping on today. Thank you for having us here at the Sportsbook.
Love having you.
Yes, it's always a blast when we come here. He's Jay Saunders, PR guru at the PCH, the Potawatomi Casino Hotel and Sportsbook. It's lunchtime. So we're going to grab lunch. We're going to turn things over to Tommy Wirtz. He is the host of the leadoff show. The Brewers lineup is out, and he's going to get to that right away as that starts. Because when you need any news, when you need any information about our Brewers, you should be tuned to the leadoff show with Tommy Wirtz. He's here before every single Brewers game, an hour before the game, getting it done for you. I'll be back at 1:30. Tommy's going to sign off at 1:30. The Brewers game will start. I'm going to come on for the last half hour before I turn things over to Steve Sparky Pfeiffer and Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's right here on The Fan. I am at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My name is Mitch Nellis. This is Middays with Thunder on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app, on the iHeart app, and free on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Tommy Wirtz, it's all yours, baby. Let's go, Crew.